want to welcome everyone to today's presentation, and today we're going to talk about research and development here at AIM. As many of you know, I'm the Quality Assurance Manager here at AIM, but my role also extends to product development. As you can imagine, the product development part of AIM is really intertwined to quality assurance, because without a greater understanding of the products that we have and the quality that goes into them, it would really hinder product development. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about that process of product development, and then we're going to go into some of the more exciting ingredients and potential products that we're bringing to AIM very soon. So challenges can occur when we're looking for a niche, a new product. We got to look at the current products. AIM has a lot of products, and that can be hard for a company like AIM. There's approximately 38 different products when we look at the different SKUs. So if we look at Barley Life, we have Barley Life, we have Barley Life Extra, we have Barley Life Capsule. And then we have different formulations based on the country that we're in. So we have Herbal Fiber Blend in the US, which is slightly different than what's in Canada. So we have to look for the ingredients that are in those products and ensure that we're not overlapping with a new product. We don't want to create a product that essentially has the same function as a current product. And in doing so, we're looking at nutritional gaps. So gaps within the current products that we have that maybe we're not supplying a specific nutrient, and so we're going to look for those gaps as we're going through this. Another really important part of this is member feedback. Anytime that you call into the call center and you actually talk to someone, maybe you send an email in, all that is actually collected into a database when you say something like, I would really like AIM to have a product that did this, or a product that contained this ingredient. All that information is collected. We actually look at this information daily, and that's going to kind of push us in a certain direction for product development. Now, sometimes it can go even further than that. Let's take Ginkgo Sense, for example. I had a member that actually came up to me and she said, I'd really like to see AIM come up with a product that has turmeric, more specifically curcumin. And so she actually gave me a book about curcumin. I sat, read the book, found a lot of really interesting information about joint health. But what really caught my eye was some of it actually identified mental acuity. And that initially it sent me in the direction of Ginkgo Sense. And based on further research, that turmeric, which eventually we use as curcumin, ended up in the new reformulation of Ginkgo Sense. And you can kind of see that in a few of the products over the past few years as we've taken products that have been in the product line for many years and we've kind of updated them. We've applied new research and basically created something that's new and exciting for the membership. And that's kind of the very beginning steps of product development here at AIM. Now, once we create that initial research and we know kind of the niche that we want to apply that information to, we need to start looking at market trends. And market trends can come from any information, any source. And one of the things that really caught my eye was this quote. It's from Terry Barber, the Director of Makeup Artistry at MAC. People are tiring of the standards created by the Instaface phenomenon. That pretty much dictated the last decade. These are essentially the unattainable standards that are being created by social media. So I don't want to freak anyone out, but when you look at this photo of myself, the one on the left, I literally walked into the lab, took the camera, put it up, and took a selfie of myself. The photo on the right is what we are going to deem the Instaface. This is a very younger looking version of yourself. No pores, your hair's darkened so you can't see any of my gray hairs in there. The first time I did this, it was a little freaky. Essentially, it was an app on my phone, and what it did is it narrowed my face, darkened my hair. It even increased the size of my smile, which that alone was a little creepy. But this is the image that a lot of us are portraying on social media. And this artificial face that's being created, it's actually people are becoming tired of it. What you'll see now in social media, a very popular trend, is people aren't putting makeup on. They aren't using these apps to create this younger Insta face, and they're just portraying themselves as is. So as consumers start to tire of this image, they're going to be looking for natural ways to improve their skin, hair, and portray that image on social media. Nutracosmetic is a new term out there. Essentially what it is, it's a capsule that you're going to consume, or maybe a beverage. And what that is going to do is actually enhance the appearance of hair, skin, or nails. It can be a very simple product like just a beverage. It can be a multivitamin. B vitamins are very popular in this, or it could be a combination of all those with herbs. The market's going to reach $7.9 billion in 2025, and that compounded average growth is at 5%. So this market is set to grow, and we think that this trend is something that we definitely want to follow. The third trend is collagen. I'm sure many of you have seen collagen supplements in your health food store or online, and collagen is hot in the marketplace. It's scheduled to really take off in more sales. Collagen is the structural component within the skin, so it actually provides the support, and collagen can be found in other parts of the body as well. The negative associated with collagen, it's going to come from an animal source. It's going to come from bovine, it's going to come from fish. These are common collagen supplement sources. This causes AIM an issue because we're really trying to provide products that can extend to the majority of our membership. So we want to provide something that's going to be vegetarian or vegan if at all possible. So this sourcing of collagen becomes really a negative in this trend. So next we're going to be looking for solutions for these trends that we've identified, and then pairing that with the research that we've already done. And we're going to focus this product in improving skin, hair, and nails. And we found through the research that oxidation is going to play a very big role in that. Also, we're going to be looking for nutrients that are going to increase the production of keratin and the actual synthesis or production of collagen. So as we age, skin becomes rough. You look down at your hands. I look at my hands, and the first thing I see are my dad's hands. That one day I just all of a sudden got old. Your skin will become slack, rough, dry. Your skin will even start to become more transparent. This is actually going to be the thinning of the epidermis. Skin becomes more fragile over time, and this can cause any number of issues. Skin also then becomes more easily bruised. The easy bruising actually comes from the thinning of the blood vessels underneath the skin. So as we age, we're going to see a lot of things change within our skin, and that has a lot to do with the structure. So in this slide, you'll see that the younger skin on the left and the older skin on the right. And I think the biggest thing to take away from these two images is the younger skin has that very thick layer of epidermis, and the one on the right, you can tell that that epidermis layer is quite a bit thinner. Second thing to make note of are, see those X's underneath the epidermis that kind of look like little structures holding the epidermis up? That's actually going to be the collagen. And collagen over time is going to break down. And without that good structure underneath the epidermis, things like wrinkles are going to start to occur, and we'll see that wrinkling of the skin happen more and more. So this slide has a whole lot of information in it, and I'm going to try to go through this slowly and succinctly. One of the issues with introducing so much information is going back to the sources. So this ingredient has been used in over 60 clinical trials with over 1,400 patients. But I'm not going to actually share with you what that ingredient is quite yet. I'm not going to give that away. But first, let's go through the research of these different studies. For today's purposes, I'm going to focus on 5 of these studies. Study 1 utilized 2 milligrams of this ingredient daily. Study 2 and 3 used 6 milligrams daily, but then also used an additional topical of 0.094 milligrams daily. Essentially what that means is they took this ingredient, they added 0.09 milligrams to it, and they added it to like a lotion and then applied it to the skin. Fairly insignificant amount, but it was part of the study. Study 4 used 3 milligrams daily, and finally study 5 used 6 and 12 milligrams daily. Now in the yellow you'll find the conclusions of these trials summarized into these 8 statements. So for 4 of these 5 studies, they found that supplementation supported skin hydration. 2 of the 5 found participants had reduced signs of wrinkles. 3 of these found to improve skin texture. 1 study found it protected the skin's collagen layer. 3 studies promoted smooth skin. 4 of these 5 studies were found to enhance skin elasticity. 3 studies reduced skin spots, and 1 study promoted even skin tone. Now for myself, the reduction in skin spots was the most exciting part of any of these studies. For my own selfish reasons, I've got skin spots that are starting to develop on my forehead. Hopefully you can't see them today, but the thing is when I was younger, as with most of us, we think we're a little bit invincible, and so I spent a lot of time outdoors and never really wore a hat or put on sunscreen, and as a result, in my early 40s, I'm starting to see some of those skin spots develop upon my skin. So when I read this research and started to see these benefits, I got excited, because if I can take a natural product, ingredient, that can help reduce these skin spots over time, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that product. Now that we have a good handle on improving skin's appearance and health through this ingredient that we just talked about, now we need to focus on ingredients that are going to boost keratin production and also improve collagen synthesis within the skin. Before we get into boosting keratin production, I think I need to clarify that the ingredient that I've talked about with all these amazing studies and benefits is not biotin. This product does include biotin, but it is not the main focus of this product. Now if you go out into the market, you look at a health food store, you can find hair, skin, and nail products that contain biotin. And biotin will be the main ingredient in that product with a few supporting ingredients. That's not the case with this product. Biotin plays a supportive role with this additional ingredient that I'm not going to quite share with you. Now hair is going to be 90% keratin, and biotin actually is going to improve the production of keratin. Now biotin deficiencies are somewhat uncommon, but if you are consuming a lot of raw eggs, there's actually a protein within raw eggs that doesn't allow you to properly absorb biotin. And then again, if you're drinking an excessive amount of alcohol, that will also decrease your body's ability to absorb biotin. Now, with the consumption of biotin, we're going to improve keratin production. And when we see that there's damage to keratin, we see that there's going to be breakage within the hair, things like split ends, damage to the cuticle, and even a loss in color can occur. Next, we're going to look at collagen synthesis. We've talked about how we're not going to include an animal source of collagen within the product because a lot of our members are going to be vegans and vegetarians. And so we really have to look at how collagen is synthesized within the body in order to provide nutrients that are going to improve that synthesis. Collagen acts as the structure within the body to provide structure within the skin or bones. And remember those white X's, and those X's really provided the structure, and that was collagen. And if we break collagen down and we look at the actual collagen fibril, it kind of is similar to like a muscle fiber. So within the muscle, there are these little fibers muscle fibers within. The same is true of collagen. But the fiber within collagen is known as an alpha chain. And within that alpha chain, it is made up of different amino acids. Collagen is a protein, so it makes sense because amino acids are part of protein. There are 3 specific amino acids found within these alpha chains. There's glycine and proline. Those are the 2 most common. And in fact, every 3rd amino acid within the chain is glycine. The 3rd amino acid is lysine, not to be confused with glycine. Lysine is very important in the cross linkages that occur between the alpha chains, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So when these alpha chains are being created within the cell, they go up to the fibroblast is the cell that they're actually being created within. Inside that cell is an organelle called a free ribosome. And at that point, all these amino acids are being put into the correct sequence to create that alpha chain. While this is occurring, vitamin C is needed in order to attach what is called a hydroxy group. That hydroxy group is going to ensure those cross linkages. The cross linkages are what creates the strong structure of the alpha chains within the collagen fiber. So that's a lot of information to digest. So the way that I like to think about it is the alpha chain in the collagen is like the 2x4 within your house. You use the 2x4 to create the structure, the framework within the house, creates all that structure. But without the cross linkages, we're going to think of those as nails. Those 2x4s don't really provide a lot of support. So when you have the vitamin C in combination with the lysine, you're going to create those, essentially those nails for that frame within the body to create a very firm skin like we showed in the previous diagram. All this happens once we work together, not only as a staff, but also the staff with the membership. Once we begin this process, now we're talking about getting to the next step of product development. So we've got a really good idea of the ingredients that we're going to use. We know the trends that we're going to apply those to, and we've got research to back those ingredients. Now we need to get in kind of the fun part of this, which is going to be deciding upon a delivery system. So we can deliver these ingredients in a couple different ways. We can deliver them in a powder. So similar to a product like calcium, which is a really great tasting beverage. That can cause us issues if we are working with an ingredient that doesn't taste very good. If any of you have bitten into a capsule of Prancenol 2000, you know that those ingredients taste foul. Those are not great tasting ingredients, and that's why we put them into a capsule. So sometimes if we want to have a powdered product, the ingredient itself will force us into another delivery system. Capsules are another great choice, but it also comes with its own set of issues. Let's say that we have an ingredient that we want to supply at 1 gram per day. Now, if the density of that powder is very dense and it fits into a very small package, that's perfect for a capsule. But if it's not dense and it takes up a lot of space, we could be supplying 20 capsules per day, and nobody wants to be taking 20 capsules a day. We want something that's very convenient. And then finally, topical is another delivery system that we could use. For example, CWR. We're using that as a topical, which is applied to the skin to deliver that magnesium. So once we go through these different systems and we choose one of those systems, we're going to take it to the next step, which is going to be the benchtop sample. And that's where we take these ingredients, we're in the lab, and basically we're making a very small production sample. We're blending the powders together, the ingredients, we're fitting them, hand filling them into capsules, make sure they meet our specification. And at that point, we're actually going to start some potency testing. So we're going to make sure that if we fit it all into one capsule, that capsule is delivering the specific amount of each ingredient that we want it to supply. We also utilize the staff at the benchtop sample part of this. If you've listened to a presentation of mine before, you've heard me say something like, we use the AIM staff as guinea pigs sometimes. So these benchtop samples are usually handed out to staff, and we get initial feedback from the staff on them. Could be taste, could be the size of the capsule, or the benefits that they received from that. And we derive a lot of information from that. Now, once we have those benchtop samples and we get the employee feedback, next we're going to kind of dive a little bit more into the details of the product. So things like pricing are going to play a very big role, and we're going to look for products on the market that are comparable. Now, a comparable product, if we're doing our job well, we're creating something that is really unique. And so we're not going to be able to find something that is really comparable, but we're going to look for something close. Next, we're going to start looking at serving size compared to other products in the market. If we're supplying a product that is a capsule and we're supplying it at 20 capsules per day, whereas there's other comparable products on the market that are 1 capsule per day, that's going to cause us some issues as well. Duration comes into effect. We want to be providing a product that's going to last, our target is 30 days. If we supply a product that's only lasting 6 days, or a competitor's product that's only lasting 6 or 7 days, that's going to tell us a lot about our product. More importantly, the potency of the product. We're going to want to look at how potent our ingredients are compared to the competitors. So for an example, I'm going to use Reassure. Reassure includes an ingredient called saw palmetto. And we can see a lot of competitors out there that contain saw palmetto powder. But when we look at the AIM product, Reassure SP, it contains a saw palmetto berry oil extract, and that's standardized to 85% fatty acids. That tells us that we're supplying the exact amount that is therapeutic, and also we know that we're supplying it every time you take a capsule. Whereas just with a saw palmetto powder, you really don't know how much of those actives you're getting in each one of those capsules. So we've done all this work, we've decided we've got a product that we think is really special. Now it's time for the member pilot. And what this is this is full manufacturing production. We're bringing in ingredients. Those ingredients are being tested to specifications for safety, potency. And once we have that and go into that full production, we have the finished unit for the members. And this is going to be then tested again for those safety and potency standards. Now that we have something that's been tested, we're going to start looking for members who want to participate in these member pilots. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at members' buying history, what type of products they buy, maybe how involved they are in their business, how much they're talking to their downline, because the more they're talking to downline, that's going to give us more information about how they interpret the product. So once we've identified a set of members, we're going to contact them, confirm that they'd like to participate, and then we're going to send them part of these pilot samples. And they can receive anywhere from 1 to 3 months supply of this product. And as this time elapses, we're going to then contact them through phone, email, maybe letters, and get as much feedback back from them as possible. We're going to want to know everything that we can. And all that information is going to be tabulated and evaluated within, because we're going to want to look at as much information as possible before making a decision on whether to proceed forward or not. So really a group of AIM staff along with executives takes this information and really makes the decision on where do we go from here? Do we scrap the idea? Maybe the product isn't that great and we start over. Maybe we need to make a really significant change in the therapeutic ingredients included in the product. And that would take us all the way back to the benchtop samples again, and we would then go through that process once more. Perhaps it's a small tweak. Maybe we'll change from 5 milligrams to 6 milligrams. And then the last option is approval, which means we're going to proceed forward with full production. And that's really the most exciting part of this, is when we get really great feedback and we know we've got something really special, we go into full production. At that point, we start creating marketing materials such as data sheets and infographics. Additionally, what we do is we look at the countries like South Africa, Australia, Canada, and we start registering those products within so that we can try to get those products launched as soon as possible. Once we get those full productions and we get all the appropriate testing done and ensure that the product meets our specifications, then we go to a full launch. And that's really the most exciting part. I know I went through a lot of information, but the product that I talked about, those ingredients that I talked about, that's actually at this moment in the member testing phase. So we've created that member pilot, and there's actually members right now that are consuming that pilot production. And hopefully we get great feedback, and very soon we'll be launching that product to the whole membership. I really hope you enjoyed this peek behind the curtain in product development, and I hope to see you on the next presentation.